my favorite commit of 2020 has entered the transfer portal. And there's a lot to unpack with this. I'm going to give you my opinions and I'm going to give you my speculation to why this has happened. Honestly, when he was picked up by Georgia Southern back in 2020, I thought he was going to be a freshman that start right away. He just had the intangibles to do so. And apparently that's not the case since a new regime has come in. And I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions about all of this because this is a pretty big deal in my opinion. But the flip side of that, it's really not when you try to, play devil's advocate. Welcome to the First and Frame Race channel. I am VF Baller. Over here, I talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. On a daily basis, I do a podcast here. Hopefully, you guys can hang out and watch the podcast. I do it every day at 9 a.m. It goes live. So hopefully, you guys will sit back and enjoy. Hopefully, you guys will stick around. Let's go ahead and get into this. Coach Helton came in with a new scheme, a new plan, a new outlook, and a different vibe and energy when it comes to Georgia Southern football. If you watch the spring game, you saw that on display basically. You saw what happened when this offense is running. I'm not saying that it's, going to be running through the Sun Belt. It possibly can, but when you see what has happened with this offense and who's running the offense, you kind of looked at it as, okay, Kyle Van Treese is the guy. Then we turn around and see Connor Skalski is doing pretty good, which Connor actually stepped up and played pretty well last year when he had the chance. Where can Ransom fit in? It was kind of unknown because we saw the things that he could do within Coach Ruse's offense. He was able to move the ball very quickly down the field. There's been rumblings and other rumors saying that he didn't catch on to this particular offense as fast as they thought he could. They said he worked really hard. He was able to do some things that kind of stood ahead of the other quarterbacks. But when you look at the experience when it comes to Kyle Van Treese, which, he came to Georgia Southern, as a transfer from Buffalo. When you look at Connor Skalski, actually has the poise to play this position just as well, if not, slightly better than Cam Ransom. When you look at all that, then you turn around and you see a Richie Langford come in. Then you see Zach Roseman, who actually did okay in the spring game. The writing was kind of like on the wall a little bit. It's like, all right, all these guys that I just mentioned outside of Connor Skalski were basically, the last regime guys. And you saw a lot of people who were kind of taken aback to this new regime, but a lot of guys fit in as well. Mainly, outside of the quarterback position, a lot of people fit in. But the quarterback position was the position that a lot of people was looking like, all right, how this is going to play out. You saw what happened with Justin Tomlin. He's no longer, on the team. Quincy Bonner, another quarterback who was with a quarterback with the last regime. He moved the defensive back. You also look at a guy like Sam Kinison, who made the transition from quarterback to wide receiver and doing big things. And I can go a little bit further. Alex Bowen. Nobody really talks about Alex Bowen like this, but he came in as a quarterback, turned around to be a receiver, and had a catch or two in the spring game. So you kind of see what the writing's on the wall per se. When you look back at it, you kind of see what's happening. Now, the sky isn't falling. I don't want you guys to think that the sky is falling, is over with, or whatever the case may be. We got four good quarterbacks still on this roster. You got Van Treese, you got Skalski, you got Zach Roseman, you got Richie Langford. Hold on, I didn't even talk about Dallas. David Dallas. So we still got 5 good quarterbacks. I put it on Twitter, said we got 4 good quarterbacks. We actually have 5 quarterbacks that, all intents and purposes, Dallas is he has an injury right now, but he can easily develop to be a really good quarterback in the system. You got Zach Roseman looking like he's ready to go as a freshman. But you're going to have to pay your dues when you're looking at these other guys behind him. Now, it's a really good-looking thing right now for the quarterback position. What does this mean down the road? There's a big possibility, and I know people probably aren't going to say this. There's a big possibility that we could revisit this sometime down the road where another quarterback possibly would transfer maybe next year, because we got a lot of talent at quarterback, a lot. You know, I don't see I don't see Dallas transferring, but when you have like guys that are so close together in talent, like a Langford, like a Skalski, and you got Zach Roseman, watch one of those three guys. Just watch. I'm not saying that they are going to transfer, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point. You got to understand what's going on here. So this is at the end of the day, this is a really good problem to have. I hate to say it like that because you don't want to see any of these guys go through the transfer portal. It can be a nightmare for some players at times. Sometimes a lot of players don't find a home once they go and transfer. So that's something we may need to think about as well. A lot of guys don't find a home. So with that being said, it's a downside to it. You know, these guys could sit behind another guy and play later, but you got some guys who want to play right away. You know, Cam Ransom deserves to play right away. I think he has the talent and he has the ball skills to do so. I wouldn't like to see a guy like this sit on the sideline. But when I saw Kyle Van Treese come in, I was like, okay, I want to see how this plays out. Because I personally thought he was going to be QB number 2. But you see how Connor Skalski is playing. He's been doing pretty good in scrimmages and he done well at the spring game. So now I'm like, all right, I don't know what to think now when it comes to this actual makeup of our quarterbacks. But we're starting to get an idea of what it's going to be. Cam Ransom into the transfer portal, and I would be remiss if I won't name everyone else. There's 4 other guys who entered the transfer portal at Georgia Southern. Linebacker Michael Edwards, defensive back Josh Trice, wide receiver Jordan Bennett. I saw that on Twitter as well, and defensive lineman Nick Mercer. So we got 5 guys moving from Georgia Southern, going into the transfer portal. This means that right now we still have 5 slots that could possibly be refilled for other players who may want to come here and possibly, sit and develop, or they just have a spot to, actually get some playing time. You just never know. Depends on the caliber of the player. Also, before I finish, you never know. Just because these guys go in the transfer portal doesn't mean that they will go to another school. It's a possibility that they can come back. Unfortunately, I wish that would have happened with Eldrick Robertson, but he's gone now. I don't even know if he's signed to East Carolina yet, but that guy was one hell of a talent, and I wish he would have stayed with us after his freshman year. We just don't know how this is going to play out. We're going to continue to watch and see how this goes, and for the most part, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens within the coming weeks. We got 14, 13 more weeks until the season starts. You never know what may happen. Also, and I'm going to finish this time after this, we already heard Coach Helton saying that throughout the month of May, they're going to be going out looking for players. They're not going to be traveling, but they're going to be looking for players. So keep that in mind as well. I've already heard rumblings that there are some guys who were at the game, the spring game. I've heard rumblings of guys that were at the game, probably looking to come to Georgia Southern. And we're talking about some pretty stout and talented players. So keep all that in mind. If you like this content, hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hey, look, I hate to see Cam Ransom go. Don't get me wrong. But looking at the quarterback situation, I understand. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is a bad move? Do you think that the sky's falling? You think we're going to be okay stability-wise as far as quarterbacks? Do you think that Cam Ransom's going to succeed somewhere else? I don't see how he would not. But we're going to look into all that down the road. If you guys don't mind, check out the podcast every morning at 9 a.m. This is what I do over here. And I will see you guys on the next one. You guys take care. You take it easy. Be blessed. Peace.